Newzroom Afrika's Ntsiki Nohiya is in Port St. John's, and she picks up the story from her vantage point. Ntsiki, what are you seeing?
Well, Iman, Port St. John's this year, for the first time, it is not like Nelson Mandela Bay, where my colleague Sipakema is, but ordinarily, naturally, Iman, Port St. John's is prone to flooding, to natural disasters, because it is surrounded by mountains. But this year, yes, there was heavy rains in the past 3 days, but there was no flooding. The reasons for that is that the municipality stepped in after quantifying the damage that was done by flooding. Last year, they managed to come up with a lasting solution. I mean, in 2019, we've seen Mzimvubu River bursting its banks, flooding all over the road leading up to Port St. John's city. And Mzimvubu River connects the Indian Ocean, the sea, on the eastern side of the Port St. John's, and on the other side, surrounding Port St. John's is only mountains. But emanating from that, Iman, the local Port St. John's local municipality stepped in, and put up a drainage system. They're upgrading that drainage system so that they don't experience the flooding that they've experienced in the past few years. I'm now joined by Simthandile Ford, who speaks on behalf of Port St. John's local municipality. Simthandile, thank you so much for making time to talk to us. Tell us about this upgrading system that you have put up as a municipality, and how is it going to help this particular city because of its nature? I mean, it's situated in a low-lying area.
All right. Thank you so much, Ntsiki, for the opportunity to explain the process that we are at. Port St. John's this time around was not overwhelmed by the drainage, by draining its water out of town and out of some of the places where our people live in. That is directly linked to the fact that after the ravaging floods that occurred last year, that even prompted the president to come to Port St. John's. We sat down with a number of disaster management committees from national right up until the local level, which is OR Tambo and us. We quantified the damage, and we looked at the reasons why it was at the rate that it was. The drainage system upgrade was one of the biggest threats to the town and to the municipality. After we picked that up in terms of the drainage system being the biggest cause of these floods, not necessarily the amount of rain, but it was the inability of our infrastructure to carry the water out of the town and into the Mzimvubu River, and then to ensure that there is no flooding inside the town. We then took up a couple of projects, not just one, where we have now even changed some of the roads that are inside town to make those roads not just for the use of vehicles, but to assist us in channeling water to the direction that it needs to go into. As you look around where we are currently, this is the site that was also affected, and you can see the work that is being done here. The work that is being done here is basically part of the project, which now seeks to channel the water into the river. So that project, and the fact that it is at the stage that it is at, we were then not overwhelmed by the water of the past 3 days.
We understand, Simthandile, that in the past years, in particular last year, communities that were staying here in this low-lying area in the CBD had to be evacuated and were provided with temporary shelters, and we understand that you have since relocated them elsewhere.
All right. The issue of relocation of some of the people that were living in these very low-lying areas, it it's a staged project. It needs to be phased out in certain levels. But what is important is that we are currently encouraging most of the communities to take control of their own safety, to understand that their safety is important and they have got a role in playing in ensuring that they are safe during these floods. We also were lucky. Just 2 weeks back, the presidency again sent out a team from the Department of Presidency to come and monitor the projects that are related to the flooding and the disaster. They helped us a lot in terms of going into villages, going into these areas which are always threat, to explain to the community on the early warning signs of disasters. How can they be able to naturally detect that the rain will be heavier? And also, they also came into the municipality to also assess whether, as a municipality, are we giving the community enough information? Are we giving them the weather predictions so that they can be able to understand what is currently happening? We then also managed to do that. So this particular year, we are privileged because our system is a bit working better, and the rehabilitation of the sinkholes is done, and we hope that we will survive again.
Thank you so much there. Simthandile Ford, man speaking on behalf of Port St. John's local municipality, talking about the sinkholes that she was referring to. As we were driving through here to Port St. John's, we saw the work that is being done. 2 sinkholes that are under construction that collapsed in last year's heavy rains. Iman and Sandral is taking care of that project. Iman, as much as I'm not a meteorologist, but I can tell you that the temperatures is starting to clear up today, and then tomorrow I think it's going to be about 23 degrees Celsius, and it's going to be partly cloudy, and then on Thursday the weather is going to be around about 30 degrees Celsius, and then the degrees will, the temperature is going to start dropping from the weekend, Iman.
I think doing the weather suits you, Ntsiki. Thank you very much for that.